How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. What's cracking? I know if I didn't say that, people are gonna be like, what's going on here? Anyways, let's get straight to the topic. Trump. I'm gonna try to keep this in the middle as much as possible. But I'm curious. So Donald Trump was found guilty of 34 counts, right? He was convicted of 34 counts of whatever they charged him with. Honestly, didn't pay any attention to it. I think we all knew that he was going to be found guilty. And anytime they charge him with anything, he's going to be found guilty. But my question to you is, what did this conviction do? What did it do for you? For liberals, I guess I guess it was a win for you mentally, right? Mentally, I did a lefty gun play thing. I guess mentally, that was a win. But to me, that's the people that see that as a win are looking at what's right in front of them. They're not looking down the line. For people that support Trump, supported him before the conviction, it solidified their position as well, right? But there are people that were on the fence. I think there are more people on the fence than a lot of people assume. And I really truly believe that these convictions for a lot of people on the fence, I think for some, it humanized Donald Trump. Okay. For others, you have people who were on the fence, but really have a hard time with government interference. And what they did to Donald Trump, it solidified their position in favor of voting for Donald Trump. You see, we have where we know for a fact that Hillary Clinton broke some very serious laws, was able to destroy evidence, supposedly, allegedly. I have to be careful. And zero, zero problems there. And, uh, you know, there are some other politicians that have been and are still currently involved in some stuff that, if we're going to really be pursuing law and order, um, charges should have been brought up a long time ago. They haven't, and they won't be because of the aisle, the side of the aisle that they sit on. So, in a time where the average American is struggling to pay the bills and stay ahead of all the bills and keep a family fed and get a raise, even, right? In that time, and in this time right here, where we're dealing with all that, the government has decided that they're going to just keep throwing millions and millions and millions and millions of taxpayers' dollars at convicting Donald Trump and turning a blind eye to people on the other side of the aisle. I saw this morning on YouTube that there's a new Biden uh, campaign commercial, I guess, I'm assuming. And in it, they call Donald Trump a convicted felon. I think that's a bad move. Think, imagine, imagine Joe Biden calling somebody a crook with all of the allegations of his family involvement with nations that are hostile towards the United States. Russia has Ukraine. Look, I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but there are some nations who are engaged in a cold war with us. They are trying to uh, disrupt our economy. They're trying to do to the US what the US did to the Soviet Union. And Biden has allegations that he and his family had uh, very lucrative dealings with those countries. And but it's okay, right? So let's say Trump had an affair. I don't know if he did. Unfortunately, you know how many marriages, whether it be the man or the woman in the marriage, there's an affair. Imagine if you were having a rocky time in your relationship, in your marriage, and you stepped out on your marriage, or your wife did, and then the government decided, let's spend millions to expose that. This is something that unfortunately goes on every day. But because it's Donald Trump, it's let's spend all that money. Let's drag him through the mud, right? For what? To strengthen his position in a lot of people's minds, to make him a martyr, basically. You have made Donald Trump, they have made Donald Trump the poster boy. If they can go after a former president of the United States, they can do whatever they want to anyone, any citizen in America. Then we have the flip side. So what happens? What happens when the Republicans get in office? See, you can't unscramble an egg, they say. You know, the box has been open. And there are a lot of people on the other side of the aisle, the ones being, on Trump's side, the conservatives, the Republicans, whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of people that are like, okay, it won't be fun when the rabbit gets the gun, though. They're going to get their opportunity. So I would think the Bidens and the Clintons, even Nancy Pelosi, I would think there's going to be tit for tat. There's going to be a reaction to the actions. I think we need to look into a lot of politicians, and especially career politicians who have been basically their entire life a politician, and yet they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account. How is that possible? Can we look into that? Can we really try to drain the swamp? Both sides, I'm fine with it. Both sides of the aisle. Can we get some term limits in place in the Senate? Can we get people to run for office that really want to do something for the country? Term limits will dictate that. When you have someone who can be an elected official for 30 years and make millions and millions and millions of dollars as that elected official, I think it's easy to assume that there are things going on that are not above board. The United States is supposed to be the beacon. It's supposed to be the example why this type of government works. So why are we looking the other way when a lot of the so-called average citizens of this great nation are struggling, and a few elected officials who are supposed to represent them are becoming richer and richer and richer? A lot of those politicians who are becoming richer and richer and richer, they're the same ones that are pushing for social programs that keep people poor, that keep people relying on the government. And it just justifies what they're doing. It's when are we going to realize things have to be adjusted. But the reality is, there will never be term limits in the Senate or wherever. There will never be term limits in Congress. Nancy Pelosi is going to be 506 years old and still be there, making millions. We have her, what is it, her nephew over here in California, Gavin Newsom, the hair. He's going to be somehow, some way, they're going to turn their backs on Joe Biden. He's too much of a liability. And this guy, Gavin Newsom, one of the worst governors in California's history, one of the worst governors in United States history. He's going to be pushed because of his hair and his looks, I guess. I don't know. Because it won't be any of his policies. You know, he's a former mayor. Look at the city he used to be the mayor of. Look at the Golden State. Look at California, my home state. Homeless people across the nation are jumping on buses and trains and hitchhiking to get here for all of the programs that the homeless get afforded here. Just get here. And hopefully you'll be drug addicted so you can get even more benefits. Don't trip. Stick around on the streets long enough. You know, they're not treating you as not what they want to do. It's a photo op. And then they're going to put you up in a house that they created, you know, like a housing or whatever, or hotel, whatever it is. And they're all going to take pictures. Look at how great we are. But they're not going to address the core issues, the causative factors, the addiction itself, the mental illness itself. No, why do that? Why do that? Where their photo op's going to be? And you're going to have families struggling, falling behind in rent or on a credit card or on a car payment and just losing, grinding, stressed, worried about their kids in these failing schools in California. And they may get evicted. But see, they don't have the drug addiction and they still have a job. So they're going to struggle getting housing because they make money. They have an income. California is wonderful, isn't it? And a lot of Californians are rushing to other states and turning them purple. They want to bring California's politics to your state. And next thing you know, you guys will have zombie cities. Watch that show, The Walking Dead. That's what's coming. Can we get back to being America? Can we get back to where people were not hating their own country? Can we get back to where, I mean, we have two parties where one party is okay with their constituents burning the flag, and they seriously hate those that wave the flag. People get afraid of nationalism, okay, whatever, but shouldn't you want where you live to be as strong and fruitful as possible for your children and their children and their children? Because what we are in right now is not that. This is a video that I probably shouldn't put out, but I'm going to, because I'm looking at stuff on my feed, you know, and this is the kind of stuff I get on my feed. And again, I'm not telling anybody your political party is right or wrong. All I want is for you to look around. Look at your children if you have any. If you don't have any yet, think of the children you would like to have in the future. What type of future do you want them to have? You know, in California, you can work fast food, non-skilled labor, and make $20 an hour. Sure, you can. But a lot of people, they're so happy, that don't know how things work. $20 an hour, man, you can go work with her. Yeah. So the price of the fries go up and the price of the burgers go up. The price of everything else goes up because it has to settle. Oh, this goes up. Okay, well, this makes it, they can afford it now. Let's raise the prices. So that $20 devalues pretty quick. What next? $50 an hour? Guess what happens? $50 ain't worth nothing. Meantime, if you or your family have a restaurant or any type of business you wanted to start up, are you going to be able to pay your employees? What is your profit margin going to look like? Will you be able to stay open? Nah, don't trip. Walmart can stay open. Maybe they move too because all the thievery that's going on in California. Maybe they just leave too, right? And then you got Amazon, Jeff Bezos. He loves all this. Raise the minimum wage. Raise it. Because you'll just order from him. You order from Amazon and they'll deliver it right to your door. See how easy it is? Anyways, that's my video for today. I'm interested to see the haters in the comments. Please, if you don't like what I have to say, give me facts on where I'm wrong. No emotions. Ask yourself, does your paycheck, does your income, does your savings look better right now than it did when Trump was in office or anyone else prior to Biden? Don't be mad at me. Look at your surroundings. It ain't about me. I made a video to try to get people to think. I'm 50 years old. I'm an ex-convict. I can survive anything. Only thing I can't survive is death. None of us can, right? It's coming. We just don't know when. But while we're here, we should be doing our part to make this life better, not just for us, not just for our kids, but for everyone around us. When we see stuff is wrong and we have an ability to vote and correct that, we should. Stop taking the vote for granted. Stop saying my vote doesn't count. Just vote. Even if you don't win, you tried. All right, you guys. I'm going to bring this one to a close. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.